You are watching Pulse America News, and I am Kundi. And what I am about to tell you in the next few minutes is going to change the way you see this entire war. Because right now, as you watch this, something historic is unfolding. Something that military analysts said would never happen. Something that the most powerful armies on Earth did not prepare for. Iran just used a weapon that no one has seen before on the battlefield, and the results are catastrophic. Let that sink in for a moment. A brand new type of warhead, never used before, deployed right now. And the damage it has caused to Tel Aviv is unlike anything this conflict has produced so far. The streets of Tel Aviv are in a state of absolute chaos. Buildings are collapsing. Cars are being destroyed mid-road. People are screaming in the streets. And the most shocking part of all, nobody stopped it. Not one defense system intercepted it in time. The Iron Dome, the David Sling, the Arrow system, all of it failed, and the Israeli public knows it. They are furious. Tens of thousands of people are calling for Netanyahu to resign. They are screaming that their government has failed them. They are shouting that their leaders need to step down, that they have destroyed the country, that they have broken the trust of the people. This is not just a military crisis anymore. This is a political earthquake happening in real time. Now, let me explain to you exactly what happened with this new weapon, because this is crucial. Iran deployed what analysts are now calling a multi-warhead cluster missile system. This is not a single explosive. This is a missile that carries 3 to 4 independent warheads, and each one of those warheads weighs around 100 kilograms. 100 kilograms of explosive force per warhead, multiplied across 3 to 4 separate impact points from a single missile. When something like this hits a building, that building does not just get damaged, it ceases to exist. And that is exactly what we are seeing on the ground in Tel Aviv right now. The footage coming out is devastating. The destruction is on a scale that this conflict has not seen before, and it is sending shockwaves through the Israeli government, through Washington, and through every military command center that is monitoring this situation. But here is what makes this even more alarming. This is not a one-time strike. Iran launched 7 separate waves of attacks. 7, all within a 10-hour window. Think about what that means. That is not a retaliation. That is not a warning shot. That is a sustained, coordinated military campaign designed to overwhelm every defense layer that Israel and America have put in place. 7 waves, 10 hours, and not a single one of those waves was fully intercepted. The damage keeps compounding. The destruction keeps growing. And the Israeli public watching this from their homes, from their cars, from their shelters, they are watching their country get hit again and again and again with no end in sight. Now here is where the story gets even deeper, and you need to pay very close attention to this next part. American and Israeli intelligence officials are now raising a possibility that is sending alarm bells through the highest levels of both governments. They believe that Iran has received and is now actively operating the Russian S-400 air defense system. And not just operating it, they believe that Russian-trained personnel may either be directly involved in operating that system or have provided such thorough training to Iranian forces that Iran can now use it with near-professional precision. Why does this matter? Because the S-400 is one of the most advanced air defense systems ever built. It is capable of tracking and destroying aircraft at extreme ranges and altitudes. And if Iran has it fully operational, it explains something that has shocked the entire military world over the past 4 days. In just 4 days, American forces have lost 1 F-35 and more than 4 F-15 aircraft. Israeli F-15s and F-16s have also been hit and taken down. These are not old planes. These are some of the most advanced fighter jets on the planet. The F-35 is supposed to be nearly invisible to radar, and yet it was hit. When aircraft of that caliber start getting shot down at that rate, it means something fundamental has changed on the battlefield. The rules have shifted. The balance of power has shifted. And the side that thought it had total air superiority is now realizing it does not. Oil prices have already jumped 4% in response to these developments, and that number will keep climbing the longer this conflict continues, with no resolution in sight. Before this war started, oil was trading at a certain price per barrel. That price is now climbing fast, and every percentage point increase is being felt by ordinary people around the world, at the gas pump, in their electricity bills, in the cost of everything they buy. This war is not just a Middle Eastern conflict anymore. It is a global economic event. Meanwhile, Iran has made its position crystal clear. Their military spokesperson came out and said directly, and I want you to hear this clearly, that America is trying to use fake negotiations as a distraction to pull Iran's attention away from the battlefield. Iran is not buying it. They have publicly stated they will continue striking Tel Aviv, Haifa, and every other strategic target on their list. They are not slowing down. They are not pausing. They are escalating, and they have laid out their conditions for any real peace talks in terms that Washington and Tel Aviv are going to find extremely difficult to accept. Iran's conditions are as follows. First, all American military bases in the region must be removed. Second, every ship passing through the Strait of Hormuz must obtain Iranian permission and pay a fee. Third, Iran's missile program is completely off the table, not open for discussion, not subject to negotiation, not a topic that any foreign power has any right to raise. Those are the terms. Take them or leave them. And right now, based on everything we are seeing on the ground, Iran does not appear to be in any mood to soften those terms.
And then there is Bahrain. This is a detail that most people are not talking about, but it may be one of the most significant developments of this entire conflict. Iran's drones struck American radar installations in Bahrain, 2 of them gone. But that is not even the most remarkable part. Amazon's cloud infrastructure facility in Bahrain was also hit. Think about what that means for a moment. This is not just military hardware being destroyed. This is the digital backbone of the region. Servers, data centers, communication infrastructure hit by Iranian drone strikes. The damage is not the kind that gets repaired overnight. This is going to take months, possibly longer, to fully restore. And every day that it sits broken is a day that regional commerce, military communications, and digital operations are running at degraded capacity. This is warfare in the 21st century. It is not just about bombs and bullets anymore. It is about knocking out the systems that modern civilization depends on to function. Now let us talk about America's position in all of this, because it is in a place that no one in Washington wants to publicly admit. Senior American officials have reportedly told the current administration directly, to their face, that the United States is not winning this war. Let that land for a second. Not winning, not making progress, not achieving its objectives. The people inside the American government, the ones who have access to the real intelligence, the real battlefield assessments, the real numbers, they are saying that the plans are not working. Iran has not been weakened. Iran's military capabilities have not been degraded in any meaningful way. And every passing day of this conflict is making America's strategic position in the region weaker, not stronger. This brings us to a comparison that is deeply uncomfortable but completely necessary to make. There was a time when Britain ruled the entire world. The British Empire stretched across every continent. Its navy dominated every ocean. Its military was unmatched. Decisions made in London shaped the fate of nations on every corner of the globe. And then something changed. Not overnight. Gradually, one failed campaign at a time, one overextended military commitment at a time, one strategic miscalculation at a time. And today, Britain is a shadow of what it once was. The empire is gone, the global influence is gone, and in recent years, dozens of billionaires left the country, quietly, without fanfare, taking their wealth with them before things got worse. That exodus happened even before the full weight of decline set in. The question that serious analysts are now asking is whether America is on a similar trajectory, because what we are watching in this conflict is not just a military failure in a single theater. It is a demonstration to the entire world that American power has real limits, that American technology, for all its sophistication, can be countered, that American allies can be hit and hit repeatedly without the situation being brought under control. And once that perception takes hold globally, it does not go away easily. Partners start to recalculate, adversaries start to push harder, and the foundations of the entire global order that America has spent decades building start to shift in ways that cannot easily be reversed. Israel itself is now deeply divided. Netanyahu wants to continue the war. He wants escalation. He believes that continued military pressure will eventually produce the outcome he wants. But a significant portion of the Israeli public and political establishment disagrees. They are looking at the missiles falling on their cities. They are looking at the economic disruption. They are looking at the fact that Europe, for the first time in this conflict, has pulled back its support. European governments are no longer standing shoulder to shoulder with Israel and America on this. That is a geopolitical shift of enormous significance. For decades, the Western alliance has been the bedrock of Israel's international position. Cracks in that alliance change the entire strategic picture. And through all of this, Iran keeps hitting. Dimona has been struck. That is the site of Israel's most sensitive nuclear-related infrastructure. Cars on the road are being destroyed. Residential buildings are collapsing. No Israeli city is currently safe from Iranian missile reach. This is a reality that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. Iran hitting Israeli cities at will, repeatedly, with new weapons that Israeli defenses cannot reliably stop. This is the new reality on the ground, and the people living inside Israel are experiencing it every single day. What happens next is the biggest question in the world right now. The current administration in Washington is reportedly considering options that include deploying ground forces to the region. But military experts are pointing out that the terrain, the geography, and the defensive preparations that Iranian-aligned forces have made render that option extraordinarily dangerous. The mines alone in the Strait of Hormuz present a massive obstacle to any naval or amphibious operation. Any attempt to project ground power into this region without a clear, executable plan would risk repeating the exact same strategic mistakes that defined the Afghanistan campaign, a campaign that ended with America walking away with nothing achieved after 20 years and trillions of dollars spent. This is what Pulse America News is here to tell you. Not what sounds good, not what is politically convenient, but what is actually happening. The war between Iran, Israel, and the United States has entered a phase that none of the original planners anticipated. Iran is stronger than expected. Its weapons are more advanced than expected. Its willingness to sustain and escalate this conflict is greater than expected. And the costs, human, financial, political, and strategic, are mounting on all sides, with no clear path to resolution that any party can currently agree on. The next few weeks will be decisive. Either a genuine diplomatic breakthrough happens on terms that Iran finds acceptable, or this conflict deepens further into territory that no one can fully predict. What is certain is that the world you are watching right now is not the same world it was 6 months ago. The balance of power in the Middle East is shifting. The credibility of Western military dominance is being tested in real time, and the people caught in the middle, ordinary civilians in Tel Aviv, in Tehran, in Gaza, in Bahrain, and far beyond, are paying the price for decisions made by leaders who are nowhere near the explosions. Stay with Pulse America News for continuous updates as this situation develops. I am Kundi. Share this video because the truth needs to reach as many people as possible. And drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think happens next?